Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Valentine's Day Tumbler tutorial. In this video, we're going to make another peekaboo tumbler design, but we're going to use a really cool technique using alcohol inks and spray paint to create a really interesting effect. I hope you all enjoy the tutorial. As always, if you do, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. And if you are not already subscribed to the channel, be sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I'll have a full supply list of everything I'm using in the video down below in the description box, along with some discount codes and links to join my Facebook group, follow me on Instagram, and if you're interested in more content from me, you can join the Elite Fam, which is my mentorship group. In that group, I provide a bunch of additional content and exclusive goodies. We do lives in the group every week. I do exclusive tutorials. We do Zoom calls. All kinds of fun stuff happens in that group. We are constantly doing new things. So if you'd like to join the Elite Fam, you can go to madebymannyandmal.com/mbmmelite. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you all enjoy the video. Let's go. We're going to start with a white 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler, and on this tumbler we're going to do a quick cheat glitter method here. So I'm going to take 3 fine cut white glitters and I'm going to mix them into my epoxy. You do not have to do 3, I just couldn't pick which one I wanted to use, so I decided to use all 3 of them. I will have these colors listed and linked down below in the description box for you, along with the discount code if you're interested in trying any of them out. So I've got about 30 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure epoxy in my cup here, and I'm going to add a little bit of each of those 3 glitters into my epoxy, mix that up really well, and then we'll apply this glitter straight to our tumbler. This is going to give us a really quick and easy sparkly finish. Because we're going to do so much on top of this, you really don't need to go through the traditional glittering process. You just want a really simple sparkly base, and then we'll add all of our elements on top. And you'll just have this really pretty, subtle, sparkly finish underneath all of those elements. So once that first coat of epoxy is cured, we can move right into our next design step. So I'm going to use this semi-transparent vinyl. This is XOXO Checks. This is from the vinyl Cottage. And we're going to apply a strip of this in the middle of our tumbler. Now, I didn't measure at this point. I just decided how big I wanted this middle section to be, cut that down with my paper trimmer, and now we're going to do some math. So I'm measuring the height of my cup, which is 8 inches, and then I'm measuring the height of my vinyl section, which was a little bit over 3 1/3. And then I'm going to take that measurement and subtract it from 8, which will leave us with, I think, 4.7 something. Took that measurement divided by 2, because that's how big each of our top and bottom sections are going to be. And then I measured that on my tumbler, made a little mark with my pencil, and that's where I'm going to put this middle section, because I wanted to make sure that I was able to get those 2 top and bottom sections as even as possible. Obviously, they don't have to be perfect. Nobody is going to whip out your tumbler with a ruler and measure to make sure your sections are totally perfect, but I wanted them to look as even as I could, obviously. So once we've got that mark on our tumbler with our pencil, we can add our sheet of vinyl to the tumbler. So I'm going to line up the top edge of the vinyl with that line that I created, marking where it needs to start. And then I'm going to secure one end of the vinyl down with a piece of painter's tape. I'll wrap it around with the backing still on to make sure that everything is going to line up. With a checkered pattern like this, you really want to take the extra time to make sure that those squares are going to line up at least, mostly. They don't have to be absolutely perfect. And remember that because you have epoxy on your tumbler now is not completely 100% perfectly straight. So if things look a little bit off, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It will be fine. So once I've got that on, I'm going to use the felt edge of my vinyl scraper to just push the vinyl onto the cup, and doing that will push the backing away in the process. So really the squeegee is doing all of the work here. And once I got to the end, I removed that partial square that was kind of cut in half so that I can create as seamless of a finish as possible. So I took that away and then I cut following one of the straight lines on the pattern to make it look a little bit more seamless. There is a little bit of overlap, but I think it's better than having half pieces on the tumbler, if that makes sense. Once we've got the vinyl on, we're going to take some painter's tape and tape off this entire middle vinyl section, because the next step is our peekaboo on the top and bottom, and we don't want to get any of that peekaboo stuff on our vinyl. We want to keep this really crisp and clean and clear. Before we do the peekaboo, I am going to clean up the top rim of my tumbler. So taking a craft knife, I'm just going to run that along the top rim, get rid of all of that excess epoxy that's up there. And then what I'm going to do is take some electrical tape and I'm going to tape off the top and bottom edges of our vinyl section. And I'm leaving a little tiny smidge of that electrical tape past where the painter's tape ends, because the electrical tape is going to create a really solid seal. And we're going to be using some alcohol inks and things on the top and bottom for the peekaboo, and I don't want to risk any of that bleeding through, so I decided to add the electrical tape as just an extra little precaution to protect that vinyl in the middle. I sanded down the top rim and the bottom rim, washed it with dish soap and water, and now we can get into our alcohol ink application. I'm going to use a bunch of different alcohol inks here. I decided to go with all pinks. So starting with Baddie Blood, this is from Jenn's Crafted Gems. I will have all of the names of the alcohol inks down below in the description box for you. And I'm using a coffee filter here to apply it. So again, this is Baddie Blood. This is the hottest pink that I have. So I'm going to start just by blotting that color all over the top and bottom of the tumbler. Now this is really the main star of the show. I'm doing a lot of this color because it's so pretty, it's so vibrant, and so pink. With the other two colors, I'm going to just kind of blend out the color, just give us a little bit of dimension, vary that color up a little bit. You don't have to do all of this. If you wanted to just go in with one alcohol ink color, you absolutely can. If you want to use different colors, like colors that contrast, you absolutely can. I do have a tutorial on my channel that I posted not too long ago using different color alcohol inks and blending them, so I will link that for you if you'd like to watch that and get some inspiration for what you can do with alcohol inks. Now, I ended up not using the white alcohol ink that I had pulled aside. If you wanted to, though, you can use that in place of your white spray paint. So it will give the same effect that the spray paint is going to give us. Once I am done applying my alcohol inks, I'm going to let them sit and dry for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then I'm going to go right in and apply my stencils. I do not have epoxy over the alcohol inks. We're going over the inks directly because we want the spray paint to have the reaction with the alcohol inks to give us the effect that we're looking for. If you epoxy over your inks and then spray paint your peekaboo, you will not get this same effect, which is okay. If you don't want this effect, then I would epoxy over your inks and then do your peekaboo on top. So I cut my stencils out. This is just a heart shape that I created in Silhouette Studio. Cut it out at about 1 inch high, and then I placed those all around the top and bottom of my tumbler. Once they were on, I took my white spray paint. I'm using the white primer from ColorShot, and I just sprayed the top and bottom of my tumbler, and it created a really cool effect with the alcohol ink. So there was some sort of reaction that happened with the alcohol ink and whatever's in the paint that created this really cool pink, smoky, textured effect. Now the white alcohol ink will create this same effect, so if you would rather do that instead of spray paint, you absolutely can. It'll give you a similar kind of softer pink textured look. I let my paint sit and dry for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then I went through and peeled up all of my heart stencils. Now after I do this, I'm going to go right into my next step with my vinyl, but if you're not comfortable doing that, I would recommend letting your cup dry overnight to make sure those inks are fully dry before you epoxy, and then adding another coat of epoxy on top to seal everything in before you add your next set of vinyl. I felt confident and comfortable just going right into the next step now without that coat of epoxy, but absolutely feel free if you want to add a coat of epoxy before you add these heart outlines, go for it. It's not gonna hurt anything. So for our heart outlines, we're gonna use the Colorful Pearl Lilac Vinyl. I used this in my last video and it is my favorite vinyl. I love this colorful pearl stuff so much. It's so pretty. And I just made an offset of the heart shape I created in Silhouette Studio, and then I sliced that heart out of the offset to give us the outline. I do have a video on that, so I will link that down below in the description box for you if you want to know how to create offsets and outlines in Silhouette Studio. I go over Cricut just a little bit, but I use Silhouette, so that's more so what it's for. So basically what I'm going to do here is just take all of my heart outlines, and as you can see, I'm just outlining my heart shapes. Once I've got those on, I'm going to add another coat of epoxy. I used the Flynn Sisters Fast Cure epoxy for that coat, and it was about 20 milliliters. Once that coat is cured, we're ready to add our vinyl striping and our decal. For our first layer of striping, we're going to use this silver chrome vinyl from Teckwrap Craft. I cut these out. I cut a bunch of them at one time, but I think they're 0.10 inches in width, if I remember correctly. And I'm just going to put those right in between where the peekaboo section and our vinyl start to stripe that area out. And then on top of that, I'm going to put a really thin line of just plain white vinyl on top of the chrome. You obviously don't have to do that. I just liked a little bit of extra something that it added. And those stripes I think are cut at 0.006 in width. And I'm just going to put those right in the middle, as you can see there. The decal we're going to use today is from BAMF Custom Creations, and it's a plain black decal that says hugs and kisses. So I'm just going to apply it to my tumbler like a sticker. I'm going to peel it off the backing and then place it right in the middle of that vinyl section, and that's it. Super duper easy. I love these decals so much. So once I've got that on, I'm going to go in with my final 2 coats of epoxy and we'll be done. So that's it for this tutorial. I really hope you all enjoyed it. I hope this alcohol ink and paint peekaboo technique inspires you. I can't wait to try it again, and I hope you guys try it too. If you do, be sure to tag me in your posts at Made by Manny and Mal. I would love to see what you guys do using this technique. As always, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for another Valentine's Day tutorial. Okay, love you. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Made by Manny and Mal. You can join my mentorship group at the website on your screen. I'd love to have you in the Elite fam. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already so you don't miss any of my new videos. And while you're here, here's another video for you to check out. I want to say a huge thank you to my channel members and my Elite fam members. You guys make this channel possible. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.